Up next is the tip of the week. This is a feature where we show you a trick or two on how to use some certain feature on your phone or some other feature in a given app. And now for this week's episode, here's your tip of the week.
And now we move to our tip of the week section. And Warren demonstrates something very exciting that we've all been looking forward to. And this is Gemini Live. Just by way of clarification, at time of recording, you are going to need to have a Gemini Advanced subscription. So that will be, unless you have a free trial, a Google One subscription. It costs £18.99 in the UK. What's the American price? Do you know, Warren?
Depending on what you want, I think it's $20 right now for the advanced.
Yeah, and that's the minimum tier at which you can get Gemini Advanced, including Gemini Live with the other Google One benefits. But here is the recording.
Hi, Warren here, and I'm demonstrating the Gemini Live Advanced. And I am on the voice selection, and I'm on the second voice, but I'm going to go back to the previous voice.
Previous voice, button.
Maybe I need to turn up the volume.
Close, button. Page 1 of 10.
I'm ready to be your voice. If you like what you hear, choose me to start talking.
As you could see,
Volume set to 76%.
the talkback screen reader is trying to interrupt it at the beginning when it starts talking.
Page, Pegasus.
Let's go to
Engage deeper voice.
next
Import.
voice.
Next voice, button. Out.
Feel
Page 2 of 10.
free to keep exploring until you find the perfect voice.
And that's the second voice. And of course, we need to go to
Page. Choose a voice for Gemini.
next again.
Next voice, button. Page 3 of 10.
You can always change voices later. I'll be here whenever you're ready to talk.
And I'll now go to the next voice.
Next voice, button.
For
Page 4 of 10.
example, here's another one. Maybe I can be the voice that helps you brainstorm gift ideas for a friend who loves cooking. The choice is yours.
I'm not sure I like you too much, my dear lady. All right, I'm going to go to next.
Next voice, button.
Then
Page 5 of 10.
there's me, a voice for all seasons. I hope I make the cut. Just tap start to chat or swipe to hear more voices.
I think you probably could make the cut, of course, but I'm going to give everybody benefit of the doubt, so I'm going to go to next.
Next voice, button.
Maybe
Page 6 of 10.
this voice is more your style. I'll just keep talking for a moment longer so you can get a good sense for how it sounds. Anyway, on to the next one.
Yeah, nice try, my dear lady. I'm not sure that I... Okay, you got the drift. I'm going to go to the next.
Next voice, button.
I could
Page 7 of 10.
talk like this all day. Trying on these voices is like trying on new clothes. So much fun and so many options to choose from.
Put me in that clothing store and I'll be trying those things. Now, I'm going to swipe from right to left and see if it moves to the next one.
Page 8 of 10.
Here's another one of my voices. Imagine me talking you through a fitness routine for the week, or something more random like narrating a short story about talking cats. Because who wouldn't love a talking cat?
You sound okay, but you probably put me to sleep. Now, I'll swipe from right to left again.
Page 9 of 10.
Or possibly this other one. Testing, 1, 2, 3. I know there's a lot of choices, but hopefully it's not too overwhelming.
Oh, I'm loving it. Now, I'll swipe one more last time since there are 10 voices.
Page 10 of 10.
And to wrap things up, I can also talk to you using the voice you're hearing. It's up to you which one to start with. Swipe back if you need to listen to some of them again.
I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I think I'm going to swipe back. Probably I'm going to go to voice number 5. Let's see which one it was.
Page 9 of 10.
9,
Maybe
Page 8 of 10.
8.
Choosing
Page 7 of 10.
I'd be...
Page 6 of 10.
Maybe I'm your style.
No.
Page 5 of 10.
It's good to meet you. Give me a chance. Or check out the other options.
I think I like this voice, and I think all I need to do now is tap that choose this voice at the bottom of the screen in the middle.
Choose this voice. Button. Page.
Side note, since you're using a screen reader, you may want to wear headphones for this experience. I can get a little confused who's talking. Okay, I'm here whenever you're ready.
Hey, so tell me a little bit about Pomeranian dogs.
Pomeranians are small, fluffy dogs that are known for their big personalities. They're super playful and love to be the center of attention. Originally, they were much bigger dogs,
Now,
but were
tell
bred to
me
be
how
smaller
big
and
these
smaller
things can
over-
get.
On average, Pomeranians typically weigh between 3 and 7 pounds when they're fully grown. They're usually around 6 or 7 inches tall at the shoulder. Now, there are some that might be a little bigger or smaller than that, but most fall within that range. You could probably
Let's
pick one of
switch
those
on
cuties up
to,
with one-
let's say, something like the Mastiff dogs.
Okay, how about a Mastiff? They're at the other end of the spectrum. Think giant, gentle giants. They're super loyal and loving. Lots of people get them because they make amazing guard dogs, but they're actually big old sweethearts. Let's see, they can get to be 2 or 3 feet tall at the shoulder and weigh anywhere from 100 to 200 pounds.
Could this be used for, say, a guide dog for blind people?
Well, a Mastiff would probably be too big to be a practical guide dog. They're so massive that they might have a hard time navigating narrow spaces like sidewalks and doorways. Plus, guide dogs need to be agile and able to react quickly to changes in their environment, which might be tough for a dog that size. But they could make great companions for people who are blind or have low vision. Oh, and just a reminder, I don't provide medical advice or diagnoses. You should always talk to a medical professional.
That makes sense, but what dogs would you suggest that are most suitable for guide dogs for the blind?
Typically, Labrador Retrievers, Golden Retrievers, and German Shepherds make the best guide dogs. They're all super smart and easy to train. Plus, they've got really good senses of smell and hearing, which helps them navigate. They're also known for being patient and gentle, which is important when they're working with people.
Now, let's talk about Braille, since we're talking about the subject of blindness. What is Braille, really? I'm kind of trying to understand what Braille is.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Braille. It's an amazing system that lets people who are blind or visually impaired read using their sense of touch. They do this by pressing their fingers on raised dots arranged in different patterns. Each pattern represents a letter, number, or punctuation mark. Think of it like an alphabet, only instead of seeing the letters, you feel them.
Could this be hard to learn if one were a sighted person, or even if one is blind and starting for the first time?
Like anything new, Braille takes practice to get the hang of. Being excited or nervous might make it a little harder to focus at first. It's kind of like learning a new alphabet, so it helps to be patient with yourself. It's definitely possible to pick it up, and it opens up a whole world of reading.
Now, tell me something one last time. Does one necessarily need to use both hands, or can I use a single hand while reading Braille?
While it's common to use 2 hands when reading Braille, it's definitely possible to get by with just one. It might take a little more focus and practice, but it's doable. You could try it out and see what works best for you.
Let's shift on our conversation now to EPUB readers, and it's one of the things that I'm kind of interested in. How do EPUB readers work, generally speaking?
EPUBs are awesome. They're basically digital books that you can read on lots of different devices. Think of them like ebooks, but with a little more flexibility. Anyways, EPUB readers work by taking that digital book file and displaying it on your screen, whether that's on your phone, tablet, or specialized e-reader like a Kindle. Some can even read the text aloud to you and adjust things like font size and line spacing to make it easier on your eyes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And we now want to come to the conclusion, and I'll ask you to shut the Gemini up.
All right, time to wrap things up. Did you learn anything new today?
I sure did.
Glad you enjoyed our chat. Feel free to reach out if you have any other questions or want to learn something new. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
So to confirm, you want to end your Gemini Live conversation?
Yes.
All right, it's been fun hanging out. Feel free to reach out again if you need anything. Have a good one.
And there you have it, my little chat there with the Gemini Live conversation.
I got to say, I was a bit disappointed with the Gemini Live only having one voice when it came to us in the UK. And I don't particularly use UK voices for my TTSs anyway. I've always used American eloquence, for instance. So I decided to switch over my Google Assistant voice to American English in order to be able to get the 10 voices, which you can do by going to Gemini settings, going into language, tapping on a radio button which says use assistant languages, then you're taken to the assistant settings, tap on English, assuming that's your language, and then choose US English. And then I got the 10 lovely voices. I have to say I didn't adopt the default voice that Warren did, but they've got some quite good US voices, I think.
Well, I kind of find the women a little bit whiny, and girls, no offense here, but I kind of find those women voices a little too whiny for my liking. And I don't know, John was teasing me about choosing voice number 5 as being boring. He's an
Warren, out
everyday
of all
guy.
those 10 voices, you select the default Gemini voice that you've already been using. It's like, could you get any more boring? I mean, I personally, like, I did, one of my favorites is one of the female voices. So I'm a sucker for the ladies, I guess. But Ed, so
Baby.
were you able to get, you have a Gemini Advanced subscription right now, or do you not? Because I'm wondering, like, can you use these voices without that subscription, or are you stuck with the boring voice that Warren picked anyway? And if you're not paying $20 a month, do you know?
I think the voices only work with Gemini Live. So
Yeah, the voices are only with Gemini Live.
It works with regular, because when I changed my Gemini Live voice, now my regular Gemini also is that voice. So it does change my regular Gemini voice, but and I'm assuming you have to have the subscription though.
I think in order to you are correct. You are correct. I think in order to be able to get the 10 voices, one has to have that advanced, but it shouldn't be like that though. Maybe we can try. I'm gonna sign in with blind Android users and see, maybe reset one of my phones or whatever, and see if I could get to other voices. But I doubt. I think it's just in the advanced that this is possible. Or else with the regular one, you may have that random one that sometimes a lady and sometimes, or most of the time, it's a guy.
I was pleasantly surprised with, and people might have noticed this in your interview, not your, see, I'm saying interview, because you were talking to a real person, right? No. In your demonstration, that TalkBack actually did not try to talk over it. So that was nice. I mean, if you had gotten a notification or something, I'm sure it would have talked over it. But, it seemed like a pretty smooth experience. But what I'm bummed about on my Pixel is regular Gemini, not live. It still says random things. Like it says when I bring it up, like from the home screen, it'll say enabled when I start talking, and then when I'm done talking, it'll say enabled again. Don't know what that's about. And then if I'm in an app, one of the options, which is a nice feature, Gemini lets you ask about the screen, right? So that's the first button that's in focus, is ask me about this screen. So anytime you bring up Gemini, that button goes in focus and it says, ask me about this screen. And it's like, just be quiet. I'm trying to talk. Like, it's annoying.
I hear you. Well, I think they're trying to be helpful to us by letting us know that Gemini is available and now active or whatever. But frankly, when I launch or when I mash that key, I know exactly what I'm doing. Or if I use that magic word, I know whom I have summoned. So I don't want to be told that it is enabled. So Google, if that's what you're thinking, is, we already know that it's enabled. So don't do that.
I'm not even buying that. I think it's a bug. Like and if they are, stop it, because there's a chime. That's what we've been listening to for years, is the chime. That's how we know it's listening. We don't also need TalkBack to talk over everything.
Exactly.
The other thing they need to do as well is if you have Gemini Live, they need to merge Gemini and Gemini Live. Like they're the same capabilities. It shouldn't be a thing that I have to enable Gemini, then tell it to go live, or not tell it to go live if I want to do certain things.
Well, before commenting on this Gemini Live thing, I want to say that the voice that you have selected, Warren, is nice. I like it personally. And, well, naturally, we ladies are attracted to men's voices, and the opposite is true. So for this reason, I use male voices usually, and this one was good. I didn't know that it was the default because I used the UK accent. And the UK male voice is good, by the way.
What's the explanation for Warren picking the male voice then?
Well, no.
Oh boy. Well,
Warren just uses what Google thinks is the best for him. And since Google used this as the default voice, so it's the best for him. So this is the explanation.
oh boy. I think I've kind of grown so accustomed to that voice because, it seems to be like the default a lot of times. And, like I've been using it for a while. So I think it's kind of like trying to not break that old habit. Maybe that's what it is. But like I said, though, the female voices are nice, but I just don't like that whiny thing going on. I have enough of that.
Would you like to hear the voice that I've picked?
Yeah, why not? Let's hear it.
Please, can I pull my wife's cheeks?
That's something you'd need to ask your wife. Everyone has different ideas about what's playful and what crosses a boundary. Maybe you could try asking her directly if she'd like a playful pinch on the cheeks. Just make sure to do it gently and respectfully.
Yeah, so see, I will never use that voice. That is so whiny.
Me too.
It will drive me up
Me
the
too.
Kilimanjaro. Oh my gosh. No way.
I quite like that.
Is that different
Well-
from my voice that I chose, Ed? Do you remember the one I was using, or is it the same? Here, I'll just demonstrate.
I
mine.
think this was the woman that was. This is voice number 4, I believe.
What is wrong with Ed that he is always wanting to pinch everybody's cheeks?
Pinching someone's cheeks without their consent is inappropriate and can be seen
No, it's
as
different.
disrespectful. It disregards personal space and bodily autonomy.
Mhm.
Uncomfortable. It can cause physical discomfort or even pain. Infantilizing. Especially when done to adults, it can be seen as patronizing. It's important to respect
Exactly.
others'
So
boundaries and
serious.
refrain from
Thank you,
physical
thank
contact
you.
if you haven't explicitly.
Very good.
No, thank you, lady. Yeah.
What did
yeah.
you
So I
ask
think
it?
yours is number 6,
Yeah,
John. I think it's.
what did you ask? Like, mine seemed to think it was fine.
No, you were asking about your
I
wife.
said,
but
I said, what is
you know,
wrong with
it
Ed
was-
that he wants to pinch everybody's cheeks all the time? And she said,
Yeah.
I guess she
Yeah,
kind of
that's
like
fair
caught on that I was against it, and she wanted to be on
Yeah.
my team. I did notice that these Geminis, they try to please you. Like I was asking it stuff about my football team, like what the odds are that they'll win, and what their schedule is and stuff like that. And she was doing a great job, and I was like, okay, thank you. And then she goes, "You're welcome. Go Hokies."
And you gotta ask her what Fenerbahce can do with Mourinho. How does she see the end of this year?
I should do. Yeah. I think she'll get confused.
Yeah.
I think that in general, I'm really liking this Gemini, but I hope that though Google might bring down the subscription cost, because I think that would be a little bit too much for people to maybe $10 a month. I don't know, or maybe an annual thing.
So it's not available here in Turkey yet, but I've received kind of on offer trying it out for 1 month for free, and then $20.
Yeah, I think it's a little too expensive.
Yeah.
I know they
They
probably
need to
put a lot of work
offer
in it, but I
as
don't
not a
know.
bundle, because right now they're basically forcing you to have a Google One plan. So if you don't
I
have a
already
need
have
for the
one,
Google One
like
plan,
the premium
just-
plan, but it's they're asking me to upgrade it.
Yeah, but this $20 is the norm in GPT. You have to pay $20. Copilot, you have to pay $20. So I think that it's okay. I mean, this is
Yeah.
the price actually.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. So they're being competitive here. So it makes sense.
Because I have this on a free trial, and I think to charge you $20 a month, there's got to be a point, really. Like, I think there's supposed to be a time where it can see what your camera can see. And I've seen this demonstrated on a couple of YouTube videos with Be My Eyes, where someone says, help me hail a cab, and the camera will watch for a taxi with a light on, and then you wave it down, and that supposedly has been developed by GPT-4o and Gemini. But if all this is a more conversational assistant, then I'm not going to pay $20 a month for it. There's no point, really.
I don't think it's just limited to, conversational thing. One could try other things with it, see what it does and doesn't do.
Because I have this on a free trial, and I think to charge you $20 a month, there's got to be a point, really. Like, I think there's supposed to be a time where it can see what your camera can see. And I've seen this demonstrated on a couple of YouTube videos with Be My Eyes, where someone says, help me hail a cab, and the camera will watch for a taxi with a light on, and then you wave it down, and that supposedly has been developed by GPT-4o and Gemini. But if all this is a more conversational assistant, then I'm not going to pay $20 a month for it. There's no point, really.
I don't think it's just limited to, conversational thing. One could try other things with it, see what it does and doesn't do. Maybe I could ask it, hey, can you read the text that is in front of me? I didn't try that. So
It can't.
it can't. Okay.
No,
All
but
right.
it's in the works. Like, they say this is coming, but the point is it's not here yet. So when it is here, I'll pay for it. But yeah, it says I can't see what's in front of your camera right now. It's supposed to be coming to GPT-4o and to Gemini. Amusingly, GPT-4o thinks Gemini Live can do this when I ask it, but it actually can't.
I love it. Beautiful. Keep on dreaming, baby.
Well, my comment regarding this Gemini Live thing, actually, it's interesting. It's nice. I mean, it's good to be able to interrupt it without the need to touch anything. It's really a conversation, but Google is still like playing it safe. It's trying to put restrictions. Like when Warren was demonstrating it and he was asking about guide dogs, it just told him that, okay, you should know that I'm not in the place of the healthcare professional. But what's the point? Actually, this is not related, and this wasn't anything related to health or any of the diagnosis stuff. So this is a point. Other than that, if we look at the flow of the conversation, like even when you are using GPT, the free plan, when you are using the voice thing, the conversational thing, you are getting a better conversation. Okay, ignore the fact that you need to tap interrupt if you want to interrupt it, or you just need to wait for it to finish what it's saying to just continue what you want to say. Ignore this, but the conversation itself, the way GPT talks in, how GPT responds to you, I think it's still more advanced. It is still more logical sometimes, the way it talks with you. I think you just feel it more that it's a person who is able to communicate with you better than how Gemini that is quickly like confused. It is quickly like you can quickly confuse it. You can quickly make it change its mind. Okay, GPT has its issues, but I still think that GPT-4o will do a better job. And it's going, as far as I know, to be in the free plan as well. Limited, yeah, but I mean, the voice conversation in the free plan, limited, but it will be there. So I think that still GPT is able to, like, to be, I will not say 3 steps forward. It's just, or beyond Google. It's just 1 step beyond Google, or maybe more, but GPT is still better actually.
So I asked it before if I could pull my wife's cheeks, and it said I should ask my wife. And then I said, but do wives have equal rights to husband? And it said that they did in most cultures. And I said, well, I don't agree with that. I don't think they should have. And it sort of thought I should change my views instead of saying that I should just be able to pull my wife's cheeks.
Wow, that's absolutely beautiful. Change your views, Ed. I love it. Yeah, so I actually like what it does. I like being able to interrupt it and change the subject matter if I want to.